It was raining in the city that day. Not the kind of rain that dances gently on rooftops or sprinkles joy like confetti, but the kind that made people hunch their shoulders, hurry faster, and forget to look at each other. Inside the grand marble lobby of a towering skyscraper, footsteps echoed like ambition itself. And at the center of that world walked Alexander Reed, young, powerful, untouchable. The CEO of Reed Tech. He wore his power like a suit, flawless, tailored, cold. But as fate would have it, someone, was about to chip at that icy armor. A little girl. Maybe 6 years old. Soaking wet, clutching a crumpled drawing and wearing mismatched socks. Her coat was too big for her, as though it belonged to someone who wasn't coming back. Her eyes scanned every tall person in the room. But it wasn't until she spotted him, Alexander, that she began walking forward. No, not walking. Marching with purpose. While the world ignored her, she had made up her mind. She tugged at his suit sleeve, and Alexander, used to people begging for meetings, partnerships, deals, looked down with a frown. "Sir," she said, her voice trembling but brave, "could you pretend to be my daddy, just for one day?" The entire lobby froze. Phones paused mid-scroll. Even the receptionist's fingers stilled on the keyboard. Alexander blinked, caught between confusion and shock. "What?" She bit her lower lip. I know you don't know me. But my school has this father-daughter day. And I don't have one. Not anymore. The teacher said if no one shows up, they'll still let me come. But I'll be the only one sitting alone. And I really don't want to cry in front of everyone again." Alexander stood there, wordless. A storm stirred in his eyes. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. Instead, he slowly knelt down, ignoring the wet floor. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Lila," she said. "Lila Carter." And that name, Carter, punched through his chest. Because once upon a time, there was a girl named Emma Carter. The only woman he ever loved. The one who left without goodbye. But that's impossible, he thought. Emma would never have let a child go through this. He stood up and looked around. No adult. No guardian. Just Lila. Brave. Small. Lonely. "Where's your mom?" he asked. She's trying to find a second job. She's really tired, and she says she's sorry a lot," Lila replied. The elevator dinged. His assistant called his name. But Alexander held up his hand, eyes never leaving the girl. "Okay," he said. "Just one day." And just like that, the city's coldest CEO found his heart slowly thawing in the presence of a child who had no idea how much power she really had. But what started as a pretend game would awaken a truth neither of them were ready for. Want to know what happens when a billionaire CEO steps into a tiny school cafeteria with a little girl who calls him Daddy in front of hundreds? Chapter 2 reveals everything, including a shocking twist that could change their lives forever. Stay with us. And if this story is already tugging at your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss the ending. Chapter 2, the pretend game that changed everything. Alexander hadn't walked into a school since his own painful childhood, the kind filled with elite uniforms, stiff collars, and cold expectations. But this time, walking through those bright, colorful hallways, he felt something stir. Children ran past, teachers greeted him with polite confusion, and Lila held his hand tightly like it was the only thing keeping her steady. She'd prepared everything. "I drew you with me," she whispered, pulling out a crayon drawing. "I told everyone you build robots. That's what CEOs do, right?" Alexander almost laughed. "Close enough," he said. He stared at the drawing longer than he should have. It wasn't just a scribble. It was a hope. Inside the classroom, whispers began. "Is that Lila's dad? He looks rich. He drives a shiny black car." Lila beamed. For the first time in who knows how long, she looked like she belonged. They played games. Made paper crowns. Ate cupcakes. And when the teacher asked every child to stand up and say something about their dads, Lila stood on her tiptoes and said, "My daddy's the smartest man in the world." He builds things that help people. But he still came here, just for me. Alexander swallowed hard. It wasn't true. Not the real part. But it was becoming real to him. After the event, as he walked Lila home, he said gently, "You're a very brave little girl, Lila." She smiled. "You were really good at pretending." He didn't answer. They stopped outside a tiny apartment with peeling paint and a door that creaked. "You can meet my mom if you want," Lila said. "I'd like that," he replied, trying to sound casual. The door opened. And the world stopped. Emma. Older. Paler. But undeniably her. Her eyes widened, and her face drained of color. "Alex. I think we need to talk," he said. Lila looked between them, puzzled. "You know each other?" Alexander nodded slowly. "Yes. We used to love each other very much." Emma sat down, visibly shaken. She explained everything. Her father had forced her to leave Alexander all those years ago, terrified his wealth would make him careless with her heart. She found out she was pregnant after she left. Tried to write to him, but her letters came back unopened. "I never wanted this," she whispered. "I never wanted her to grow up without a father." Alexander didn't speak. He turned to Lila and knelt again, just like the first time. "I told you I was pretending," he said softly. "But I wasn't. I just didn't know it then." And as the little girl flung her arms around his neck, Alexander held his daughter for the first time, tears slipping silently down his face. It wasn't pretend anymore. It was real. It was everything. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe for more emotional stories like this, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment that might move you to tears or remind you what love truly means. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story. Redheart Alexander stood in the doorway, frozen, as Emma Carter stared back at him like she had seen a ghost. Her lips parted slightly, her hand trembling against the doorknob. She was thinner than he remembered. Paler. Her hair was still the same deep brown, though it looked tired now, tied back in a loose bun. The apartment behind her was small, 2 rooms, maybe 3, and smelled faintly of laundry soap and something cooking on the stove. He didn't step inside right away. Neither of them moved. And Lila stood between them, looking confused. "You two know each other?" she asked, her eyes wide and curious. Alexander's throat tightened. He nodded slowly, still unable to take his eyes off Emma. "Yes," he whispered. "We knew each other a long time ago." Emma opened the door fully. Her voice was quiet. "Come in." The living room was modest. The couch had a stitched tear in one cushion. A single photograph sat on a dusty shelf, Lila, probably 5 years old, holding a handmade flower crown. Alexander sat stiffly on the edge of the couch. Lila sat on the floor with a coloring book, humming softly. Emma paced the room. "I didn't know she went to your building. Her teacher said the kids could ask anyone they trusted to be their daddy for a day. I didn't think she'd actually ask a stranger." Alexander shook his head. "I wasn't a stranger, Emma." She stopped walking. Her face dropped. "You don't understand." "Then help me understand," he said, voice sharper than he intended. "You disappeared, Emma. No calls. No goodbyes. I searched for you for months." She sat across from him, hands folded tightly. "My father sent me away," she said. "After he found out we were serious, he pulled me out of school, changed my number, took me overseas. He said you'd ruin me. That your world wasn't safe. He didn't trust you." Alexander's jaw clenched. "You could have come back." "I tried," she said quickly. "I sent letters. So many. I told you I was pregnant. But I never got a reply." His eyes narrowed. "I never got a single letter." Emma blinked fast. Then he must have intercepted them. He closed his eyes, pain washing over his face. So many years lost. So many moments. First words. First steps. School projects. Every time he thought he didn't want children because of his past, Lila proved he'd been wrong. Lila looked up suddenly. "Are you mad at Mommy?" Both adults turned to her. "No, sweetheart," Emma said gently, going to her side. "No one's mad." Alexander leaned forward. "Lila, I want you to know something. Today wasn't pretend for me. Not anymore." The little girl tilted her head. "What do you mean?" He took a deep breath. "I'm not just someone who helped you today. I'm your real dad." The room went silent. Lila blinked. "Really?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. "It's true. That's why you felt so safe with him." Lila looked between them, her eyes wide. Then she ran forward, throwing her small arms around his neck. "I knew it," she whispered. "I knew it in my heart." Alexander held her tightly, his hands trembling. No deal, no partnership, no billion-dollar merger had ever meant as much as that moment. He kissed the top of her head. They stayed like that for a long time. In the weeks that followed, things changed. Alexander didn't return to his cold penthouse that night. Instead, he slept on a mattress beside Lila's bed, just to be near her. Every morning, he took her to school. At night, they played board games and built pillow forts. His boardroom saw less of him, and his smile became something his employees didn't even recognize at first. He helped Emma find a better apartment. A safer neighborhood. He didn't do it to impress her. He did it because it was right. One evening, while they were all having dinner together, Lila looked up and said, "Can I ask for something else?" "Of course," Emma said. "I don't want it to be pretend anymore. I want Daddy to stay, forever." Emma looked at Alexander. Their eyes locked. And this time, it wasn't filled with regret. It was hope. "I'm not going anywhere," Alexander said, taking both their hands. Months later, there was another ceremony at the school. But this time, it wasn't just Father-Daughter Day. It was Family Celebration Night. And Lila stood on stage with a microphone in her hand. "I used to think I didn't have a daddy. But it turns out, he was just taking a little while to find me." The crowd clapped. Emma wiped her tears. And Alexander, once the loneliest man in a skyscraper full of glass, knew he had found the only thing that ever truly mattered. Love. Not in contracts. Not in wealth. But in a little girl's eyes and a woman's second chance. Clapperboard, if this story touched your heart, please take a moment right now to thumbs up like this video. Pushpin subscribe to our channel for more powerful emotional stories. Bell tap the notification bell so you never miss a new release.